Today I'm at St Paul's Methodist Church for the Thursday community lunch, where supermarket surplus food is turned into a 2-course meal for anyone who wants to come along. Ruth Blackman, a member of the congregation, explains how the idea began when Aberystwyth Surplus ran a few pop-up meals in the church 5 years ago.
We were a few of us from the church were there, and we were just shocked at the amount of waste from the supermarkets. And we thought, and at the same time, Aberystwyth Surplus were talking about how they were looking for places to distribute surplus supermarket food, and it just seemed like an ideal sort of partnership, really. So we joined forces, and volunteers from Aberystwyth Surplus brought the food, and then a few of us, first of all, a few volunteers from the church sort of cooked it up. Then gradually the team sort of expanded, and we've got various people from the wider community, and it's become, well, before COVID, it has, had become a really lovely sort of team.
I'm Susan Greaves. I've lived in Aberystwyth a long time, but I hate cooking, and it's so lovely. I'm a bit lonely and living on my own these days. Well, I live in sheltered housing, so I'm surrounded by people, but it's still nobody close,
My name's James Raftery. I was married for 33 years. My wife died 5 years ago. It's not easy for me to cook at home.
I'm a Londoner. I came out here after I split up with my ex-wife in 2008. I came to see my sister who lived in Aberystwyth, and there was a flat going, so I just sort of moved into the flat, and I've been here for 13 years now.
I'm Dorothy. I love this cafe because I live on my own, so it's really nice sometimes just to come and have food with different people.
John Graham Jones ydw i. Dwi'n mwynhau dod yma i'r caffi oherwydd dwi'n mwynhau'r bwydydd blasus dros ben sydd ar gael yma bob amser, ac ar ben hynny mae'n gyfle gwych i gymdeithasu a chyfarfod pobl, gwneud ffrindiau newydd a sgyrsiau, a mae'n gwneud bywyd yn llawnach ac yn fwy diddorol yn ei sgil.
And what's lovely is to be able to use for different people to be able to use their skills in sort of cooking. We've got a few really talented chefs who just, can turn it into something amazing.
My name is Eve. I've been cooking since I was 12. I come from a large family. Today we had a bag of potatoes, was it 2.5 kilo, 4 aubergines, a big box of mushrooms. I bought some onions in because onions really for me is the basic of everything. And we decided what were we going to do with this. They'd already had a pasta dish on Tuesday. What should we do? A ratatouille and serve wedges, or shall I boil the potatoes and we can have sort of like a shepherd's pie? And I'm great at going through the spice cupboard. I just put everything in there.
I do enjoy the food here. It's always different,
I love the food here. I can go home after being here quite happy, satisfied. I don't need another meal.
Mae'r prydau bwyd bob amser o safon eithriadol uchel.
What I like is the combination of using up the surplus supermarket food, because obviously it's awful to be wasting so much, but also it's wonderful to be using it in such a positive way, like bringing people together over food and having this thing for the community.
It's great because you can mix with people, you interact with people, whereas I'm quite alone, so I don't often do that.
Mae 'na lot o bobl unig yn y gymdeithas, yn y gymuned, pobl sy'n byw ar ben eu hunain. Maen nhw angen cwmni a sbardun i fynd allan o'r tŷ.
Payment is like on pay-as-you-feel basis, so that nobody's restricted by not being able to pay for a meal because they don't have to.
If you're poorly and you cannot give, it really doesn't matter. If you've only got 50 pence, that's fine. We have had visitors to Aberystwyth who thought it was such a fantastic meal. He put £30 in the pot.
People who are homeless, they worry about where they're going to get their next meal. You know, because if they haven't got these places, how are they going to get food? How are they going to eat?
It's absolutely both, people cooking it, people being involved in giving out the meals and washing up, people coming to eat, people coming to just have that sense of community, so many different people coming together. It's definitely not a sort of, this is what, we are doing for you sort of thing.
Dwi ar y rota I wirfoddoli bob dim Mawrth a bob dydd Iau. Wedyn yn licio bod o'n cyfrannu rhywbeth, yn rhoi rhywbeth i'r clasur.
I come here for a nice change because it's just lovely and friendly and lovely to be fed and just feel at home and comfortable somewhere and tuck in for a bit. I think it's a wonderful idea.